Hi, it's been a while since my last video update, and it is the 21st of October, 20th of October, just gone midnight, so 21st of October now, Saturday. Yeah, just a general update and some possibly exciting news. So, I'm doing pretty well at the moment. Walking is has recently become a problem again, but I'm just trying to kind of walk as much as I can despite the pain. Basically, I've got a couple of small injuries, the kind that would usually heal up in a couple of days, maybe a week at the most, and they're dragging on for months because of the chemotherapy. Whenever your body heals, that healing basically involves new tissue, new cells, and often new blood vessels. And because of the chemotherapy and also the molecular targeted therapy I'm on, my body can't really make new cells very well. Chemotherapy targets rapidly dividing cells, and my molecular targeted therapy, which is called Avastin, targets new blood vessels. It basically makes it hard for your body to make new blood vessels. So even small scratches and stuff and bruises just take ages to heal. So that's bad, obviously. But apart from that, I'm doing pretty well. Still relatively healthy, other than the fact I'm dying of cancer, which is weird. Blood test results are still pretty good at the moment. My general health is quite important to me because as long as I'm healthy, it basically means if there's a new treatment that becomes available, then there's a chance I could have it. Because at the moment I'm still healthy enough to travel, for example. If a new treatment became available in the US and I had a pile of money, which I don't, I could go and try that treatment. But interestingly, I've been told there's a chance I could be a candidate for a newish cancer treatment called Proton Beam Therapy, which is it's actually like all new cancer treatments, has actually been around for a while. And it was developed for, I think, basically tumours that are hard to treat because of their position. So like if you have tumours on your spine or some bits of your lung or whatever. And proton beam therapy is it's classed as a type of radiation therapy that's not really accurate, or it's, well, it isn't, depending on how you interpret the physics. But it has a very unusual property in comparison with other radiation therapies. So radiation, if you think about it, radiation is strongest at the point where it comes out of the source. So say if a light, the light coming out of the source is strongest, and it rapidly decreases in intensity. So if you double the distance, the intensity is a quarter. If you quadrupled the distance, the intensity would be a 16th. The problem with that, of course, is that if you wanted to treat a cancer tumour that was in someone's liver, for example, and you're using regular radiation treatment, the radiation is going to be strongest, like as it's going into the person's body, it's damaging all that healthy tissue, and when it gets to the liver and the actual tumours, the radiation level intensity is kind of less. Proton beam therapy is very unusual due to something called the Bragg peak effect, which basically says that you can manipulate the beam in such a way that the highest intensity is a certain fixed distance away from the radiation source. So basically you can have very, very low radiation, 10% of the beam strength or whatever, while it's passing through the healthy tissue, and you can kind of aim it and focus it so that the 90% of the intensity is actually where the cancer cells are, which is amazing. So I might possibly be able to have this treatment. If I did it, if I'm a candidate, it would still be an experimental thing, because currently they haven't been able to do big trials with people who have metastatic cancer, so like cancer in my case that spread. But I've basically been told by one of the immunotherapists that he thinks in kind of 5-10 years or whatever, all the evidence will be there. So which is why they're recommending it. So I'm meeting a specialist next week. Maybe I'm just not a candidate for it at all and never will be. It may be that I could be a candidate for in the future if the tumours shrink down more or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of exciting. If I am a candidate for it, then I would need to find quite a lot of money quite quickly. I think it's like £25,000, like $30-something thousand. To have a course of what would basically be like 10 treatments, something like that, over a period of a couple of weeks. And yeah, so that's a potential thing to be very hopeful for. And I'm just very fortunate that I'm alive at the moment, and therefore this treatment is something that could even be considered. So other than that, very briefly, not to take too much of your time with my dull life, I recently turned 38, which is not an age I thought I was going to get to a year and a half ago or whatever, when it wasn't looking completely certain that I'd make it to 37. So yeah, I'm incredibly fortunate to be in this position. I don't want to say lucky, because it's nothing to do with luck at all. I'm alive only for two reasons. One is that I'm getting some of the best healthcare available in the world, and two, people like you have been giving me money to pay for it, because I'm getting 6 different cancer treatments, 2 of which are paid for by my standard Japanese health insurance. So I don't have any private health insurance, but I have kind of the national Japanese health insurance that everyone else has in Japan, and that pays for 2 of my treatments, and the other 4 treatments are at a private clinic. In Japan, it is my understanding that all medicine is non-profit here. So a private clinic is still not allowed to kind of have shareholders make profit. They're allowed to have some treatments that generate more money than they cost, but that money has to then go to other bits of the hospital or clinic or whatever. So basically, private healthcare here is still relatively good value, particularly when compared to the US. Obviously, I'm having cutting-edge treatments that cost a ton of money, but it's good to know that that money is going, well, in my case, it's actually going to cover the costs of the treatment, because the treatments I'm having are kind of actually expensive to do for the hospital and clinic that do them. So yeah, it was good to reach the age of 38. I'm still absolutely determined to fight until the very bitter end. Not for myself at all. It's never been about that. It's always been about my kids. My son, who is 8, and my daughter has just turned 4. That's why I'm fighting. Not for anything else at all. Yeah, I've had a pretty good life. Very, very short, but it's been good. But fighting on for the kids. So yeah, I shall do some more videos soon. Please leave a comment. I've had really, really wonderful comments recently from people I don't know, which is incredibly moving. People saying they found my videos kind of helpful and motivating, that kind of thing. I was recently interviewed by a radio station in New York about my cancer. I was very nervous because the radio show was a live radio show going out at 8 o'clock New York time, and in the US you cannot swear before 10 o'clock in the evening on the radio, and I tend to swear a lot. So I was very nervous about that, but I managed not to swear. And yeah, interviews good. Yeah, I think the interview went pretty well, and I've put it on YouTube on this channel, so please have a look at that. Yeah, please do leave a comment. They mean so much to me to read them, but also when you comment, the Facebook algorithm interprets those comments as being an indication that the videos are good, and therefore will show them to more people. So you know, that's good for me and hopefully good for them as well. And if you hit the subscribe button, you can subscribe to these videos, so you get updates of, you know, when the new videos are coming or whatever. My cancer treatment fund is, you know, pretty much empty again, because all the money that comes in just goes straight away on the medical costs. And the link for that is matthewdons.org. That's mathewdons.org. Yeah, please take a look at that and make a donation if you can. And if you can't, please share that link on Facebook or with friends or whatever. Thanks a lot for listening.